So in our yesterday session, we have understood about the theoretical part of the new item request and then the change order. So today we will continue with how to configure that thing. So let me just quickly take that particular document, whichever we have just used to explain the new item request and then the NAR process yesterday. 1 minute, let me just open it. So definition also, then the approval it will go to PPM rules, and then it will go to single user or approval group. So this is what we are going to set it up now. So first we have to enable the new item request at the item class level. So I will go into the setup and maintenance, and then here I will go into item class. In the item class, we have to just enable the in the item class we have to just enable the new item request, and then once you enable the new item request, and post that you will not be able to create an item in the approved status. It will go to draft status only. So now let me go select the product management. In the product management, I'll go to items over here, and in the items, let me select manage item classes. And the manage item classes, you can see manage item classes. Let's take this B30 electronics item class. So till now, whatever items which we have created, all the items will go to approved status automatically. But now you can see the new item request, enable new item request, this checkbox is not enabled. So the thing is we have to enable the new item request. Once you enable it, now if you go and create an item, it will go to draft status and it will not go to approved status. And also one submit button will get enabled in the item creation page. If you see the earlier videos, or if you before enabling this, if you just observe the item creation page, there will be only a save button will be there. But after this option is enabled, you can see a submit button also will get enabled. Now I have enabled this option. Now let us set up a definition workflow. So basically, what is used? Why definition workflow is used? Can anyone let me know? And then I'll just go and set it up. So what is the use of definition workflow?
I think it's item.
Yeah. So in the definition workflow, we will send it to different teams to set up different attributes of the item. Someone to set up the operational attribute, someone to set up the physical attributes, or someone to set up the structure, someone to set up the catalog categories. Likewise, we will assign this task to different people to set up the different stuff. But everyone should have access to this particular item. Everyone should have access to this particular organization item. Then only they will be able to do it. Okay, just give me a second. You might have lost the screen sharing. I have did it once again. Okay, so now going back into the item management page, item class page. Here once again, let me just create a. I have enabled the new item request. I will create a definition workflow. So in the definition workflow, you can just create any number of steps, 10, 20, 30, 40. Likewise, 20, like you can just create any number of steps you can just create. Let me just give it as step sequence number as 10. And assign it type as person or role. We can select it as person, then only to that particular person the notification will go. If you select it as role, then what will happen? It will whoever has that role, they will get the notification. Even if like 100 people have that particular role, all 100 people will get that notification. Then we have to select whether everyone should respond or any one person response from one person is enough. So we can just select that. So now you can see I am selecting assignee type as person, and I will select who is the person who have to set up this activity. So now response required from one or all. If I select it as one, then the person is also one. There is no significance if you select it as person. But if you select it as role, and if you select it as all, then if maybe 5% have that role, then all 5% need to respond. Then only this particular step will be considered as completed. So now I have selected as person, response required is 1. I will just select the assign to. I will just assign it to our B30 PIM manager itself. Okay, I'll just assign it to the B30 PIM underscore manager. Then let me click on OK. Then what is the business entity he need to set up? He need to set up maybe what else? He need to set up maybe item operational attribute. In the item operational attributes, what is the attribute he need to set up? Purchasing attribute or main attribute or inventory attribute. We can just select, maybe he need to set up the purchasing attribute. So even though he has he has access to he has access to update all the item information, but through this new item request, he will get access only to update the purchasing attribute for this particular item. And here even we can select what is the specific attribute which he need to update. For example, required definition value. In this, he need to set up the list price. If he don't set up the list price, this activity is not considered to be completed. So we can select the list price as well. So likewise, we have, okay, let me share it once again. So likewise, so we can select what is the exact attribute which he needs to set up. If you don't set up this attribute, it is considered that activity is not completed. Likewise, we can just create any number of rows. Okay, now we can select the step sequence number as 20. So only when 10 is completed, it will go to 20. So again, I will select it as a person. For demo purpose, I am just going to select the same person, which is B30 underscore PIM underscore manager. We can select the same person. And then we can select the business entity. This time I am selecting, I want to set up the like user defined attribute. Okay, we can select the user defined attribute. What is the user defined attribute? We have selected B30 laptop attribute, right? At that laptop attribute, he needs to set it up. And then we can select the even required definition value. So likewise, we can select any number of person. We can select item attributes or operational attributes, structure, association, category association, everything we can select in the business entity. So now this is how we have to set up the definition workflow. So till this point, if you have any questions, please let me know. In setting up enabling the new item request and setting up the definition workflow. Any questions?
Ram, you meant to say like whenever we want to create a new item, we should follow this procedure, is it?
In case if new item request is enabled, then only this person will get the notification. Item can be created by anyone who have access to create the item, but the item will get saved in the draft status only, which cannot be used in any other business. For example, in inventory management, they cannot go and perform a transaction until and unless the item is approved. So here the list of people available over here will get the notification to set the proper attributes and proper information to the item. Once they set it up, then they have to send it for the approval. Then finally, once it is approved, only the item will be available for the business activity.
Okay.
If NIR is not enabled, then this complete process is skipped. Once you create the item, save it, it is available for everyone for transaction.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we have set up the definition workflow. What else is pending? So now we have set up the definition workflow is done. Now we have to set up the approval workflow. So that approval workflow, we have to set it up in a different page. I'll show you the second setup, that is approval workflow. We have to do it in the same product information management. Here you have to go into the new item request. You will be able to see manage tasks. Okay, here you just click on all tasks. You will be able to see manage new item request type details. Select new item request type details, and here you have to select there will be one new item request. By default it will be available. Then there will be a number generation method for this item request, and then starting number and then the increment. This is already by default, the same will be available. You can use the same. Then you can use the workflow. Here only we have to mention what are all the steps. So here first it is open. You can see the steps. So what are all the workflow which will happen for the new item request? First it will go to open, and then in the once it is open, it will go to automatic promotion status definition. So it will go to definition, and then in the definition it will start the definition workflow. In the definition workflow, we have two rows are there. One is to assign in the item class we have given, right? One is to update the purchasing attribute, and second one is update the additional attribute. So these two attributes one person is updating. Once he completes this activity, it will go to approval. Once it will go to approval. So now here we need to set up the approval workflow. Once you click on approval, here we have to set up the approval workflow. In the approval workflow, we have to select approval is at the rule based or user defined. So I have mentioned there are two types of approval workflows there. One is single user and then approval group. If it is single user, then here you can select it as user defined, and here you can select assign to, and you can select who is the person who need to assign it. For example, assign to person, and then here you can just search for a person, that is B29. Maybe we are just assign approval is assigned to B29 OM manager. Okay, so sorry, let me just search it with B30. So for a demo purpose, I'm just doing it for our PIM manager itself. When the notification will come to the PIM manager, then he need to just approve the item. But in reality, this will be assigned to some other person who is responsible for it. So here we can assign. Here we can just assign one person, or even you can assign two person. Okay, likewise you can just select it. So here you can just maybe select another person, or you can select a role or person, and you can select B29. I'm just selecting another person also, B29 OM. What happened? B29 OM manager. So this user also I'm selecting. So the notification will be sent to both of the person, but here we are selecting response required from one. So any one can approve, then the item will go to approved status. Clear? So in case if you select it, in case instead of user defined, if you select it as rule based, then if you select it as rule based, then it will, here there is no configuration. Here you don't want to set up any user. You have to set up the user in a different page. I'll show that shortly once I give the explanation of the remaining two things. So based on this particular configuration, now the approval will go to which two person? So we have set up for two persons, right? Who are all the two persons who will get the notification now?
B29.
B29 OM manager and B30 PIM manager. So these two persons will get the notification. So consider any one of the person is just providing an approval. Once we review and provide the approval, then the item will go to approved status. Then you can see approval, it will go to schedule, then it will go to schedule status. Schedule status is nothing but it will just call a item import job to update the status, then it will just go to completed status. That's all. So now I'm clicking on save. So we have created the new item request approval rule, and it's saying for the existing new item request, the changes will not be reflected. That's okay. Click on OK. We are doing it. But one thing I want to show you in the approval, there is second option called rule based is there. If you use the rule based, then it will go to the approval group. Okay, let me share the screen again. Something happened. Right. So the second thing is it will go to the approval group. So the approval group, you can access the approval group through manage task configuration for supply chain management. If you go into the manage task configuration, it will take you to the BPM, business process management. So in the business process management, you will be able to configure the group of people who is going to approve it. So there you can just search it with, okay, here you can go into the approval groups tab. This is the BPM worklist area. Here you can just go to this group, and here you can just search it with new. Here you can see new, and then search it. You will be able to see, oh, it's giving some other thing. You can see NIR group. I think they have changed the group here. So this is an NIR group. So new item request group. We have to set up an NIR group. In this group, you can just select a person. For example, here you can just add a person above or below, and then you can select a list of people who needs to add it over here. So if you select it as rule based, then directly that will come and check in the NIR group, and here it will say who are all the person who needs to be here. So here we can maybe select, I can just search for the person over here who is like B30 underscore Tim underscore MGR. So I can just click on search. You can see, click on OK. You can see B30 PIM manager is also added. So he will get the notification, and the Mihir D. So this person also will get the notification. But if only they should have access to view that item, then only they will be able to view the details. But for your information, this is not going to get activated now because we have selected it as user defined. So whatever user which we have given in the NIR page itself, that will get activated. So as per our configuration, only the single user or okay. Here you can see single user or user defined thing only will get activated. This is okay. This is what will get activated. Now we will go into the next step, that is to create the item. So I will go into the PIM manager user. I will go into the B30 underscore PIM underscore manager, and then password is welcome at 123 login. What happened? Oh, is there no space? What space is there, right? B30. I think space was this underscore was there. B30 PIM manager. Let me just enter. Not got logged in. Okay. So now we will go and create an item. Let me go to product management, product information management. Here, let me query and create an item. Go to task, go to create item, basic standard item creation page only. Go to create item. And then now you identify the difference. Once I select the organization, which is B30 item master organization, and then once I select the item class, because the item class is the key. With the item class only we have enabled the new item request. So let me select the item class, and then I will select the template, and then let me click on OK. Now you will be able to see. Just give me a second. Okay, so now you can see the buttons. So the submit and quick submit. So these two buttons will appear newly because we have enabled the new item request. Earlier you can see only save and then cancel. Only these two buttons will be there. Now submit and then quick submit will be there. So now let me just enter the item number. So B30 NIR item 1. I'm just creating this item number. Enter the description. Then I will enter the unit of measure. So I've entered these things. And even I will be able to select the attributes as well. You can see I will be able to go and save the attribute. Initially, the person who creates this item, he can enter whatever information he wants. Like he can create a structure, or he can set up the laptop attributes, or whenever anyone creates the item, he will be able to do it. I don't know why multiple times this getting disconnected. Okay. So now he can set up everything. Even he can do the association, everything he can do. But he can do the association. But the problem is the item will be in draft status. Here you can see the approval status is draft. When the item approval status is draft, you cannot use it for any business transaction. Now let me click on save. So I'm just saving this item. The item will be saved, but the item approval status will be in draft. So this cannot be used by business for performing the transaction. So to enable it, we have to click on submit, and then we have to enable the new item request. So once you click on submit, it will ask you to create a new item request. So this will happen, the submit button will come, and this will happen only if you have enabled the new item request in the item class. So okay, so till this point, is it clear? Anyone, any questions?
Tom, can you repeat back again this part? Sorry.
Now okay, which part? Like okay, here the submit button and quick submit button will come only if the new item request is enabled in the item class. Okay.
Okay.
In case if we just create and save the item, and if we do not submit it for the NIR, then the business will not be able to see this item. In the inventory management, they try to search this item, it will not be available to perform the material transaction. So they cannot use this item even though it is created. So that's why we need to submit it, and then here you can see it will ask you can create a new item request, or you can add it to an existing NIR. So I'll just create a new item request. Let me just click on next, and then I will click on save. Okay, let me just select the NIR. Here we'll just give a NIR name. So B30 NIR1. This is the name I'm just giving, B30 NIR1. And then let me click on save and edit. Okay, if I just click on save and edit, it will just take me to the new item request page where we can just view the information, and then we can submit it once again. So in case if you use the submit option, there are two buttons, right? If you use the submit button and quick submit button as well. In case if you use the submit button in the item page, you have to enter the details, come into the new item request page, and once again you have to click on submit. 2 times you have to click on submit. But if you use the quick submit button, it will just within one click you will be able to submit the NIR as well. You don't want to click the submit 2 times. Now here we are not going to do anything, we will just review the NIR details, and once again we have to click on submit from here as well. So the NIR also will have its own status. Now you just click on submit from new item request. So now the NIR is submitted. So now what will happen? Now only the approval, the NIR workflow will get started. So when I go into task, you can see, let me go to manage new item request, and then we can query for the NIR, and we can just check it. So the name is B30 NIR. Let me remove the status, and then let me click on search. Now you see the NIR is available, and the NIR goes to definition status by default. So definition status means initially it will be in open, then it will go to definition, which means some person need to define this item. So let us see who needs to define this item. So let me just open this one. Let me open this NIR, and then we can go to the workflow. So there will be a workflow available, and it will say go to details, and in the details you can see the workflow, and we can see with whom it is pending with. So here you can see the status is in definition, and in the definition here it will show with whom it is pending. So we can just open it, and it says it's step number 10. It is pending with B30 PIM manager, and what he needs to do, he needs to set up the operational attribute, which is purchasing. Then once he completes the activity, it will go to step number 20. Again, it is pending with B30 PIM manager, and he needs to do the user defined attributes. So everything you can see in the workflow over here. So now let us see the notification. We are in the B30 PIM manager. Let us open the notification and see if there is any notification. So till now no notification came. Let me just refresh it. Actually by this time the notification should be there. Let me just refresh it. So let me just sign out and sign in and then check it. But it should not take this much time. By this time the notification should be sent to the person. Okay, here you can see, let me come to the notification. Oh my god, it did not come. It shows that it is pending with SIM manager, but I am not sure it's taking some time to send the notification. I think there is some issue with the BPM.
No, sometimes Oracle has some requirement. I don't know whether it's in PeopleSoft, same thing. Make sure that the user had an email field is being filled if it is in the user profile.
Like email is filled actually here in this instance. Email they made it as mandatory. So we have set up a dummy email address. One email we have set up, and by default, yeah, that will work. We have tested in like even for the B29 batch we have executed and it was perfectly fine in this instance. You can see task status is also showing as in progress, in process, which means the notification is already sent. Notification is already sent. Okay, so okay, fine. Let the notification let it come, but consider the user already knows it. But he will get the notification. In the notification, he will say like new item request details need to be filled. Likewise, a notification will come. And once he gets the notification, he can click on that information and that will take him to the item, or else he can go into the new item request page, and then here you can see it showing for the B30 PIM manager item operational attributes he need to set up. Here you can see go to task, this icon is there. He can click on the go to task and that will directly take him to the item setup page where he need to set up the corresponding information. Here you can see it had taken him to the item of new item request NIR 1038, and this it will give only the purchasing attribute information. Only in the main attributes will be displayed. He won't be able to update anything. Only in the purchasing attribute information will be displayed. He needs to set up the list price. Maybe he's setting up the list price. Some list price he is setting up. Then he is just clicking on save, and then he has to mark this task as completed. He can maybe set up some other attribute as well. So like he can set up any of this. Maybe he want to set up a buyer, or he want to set up like maybe asset category or some any information he want to match approval level, two-way invoice matching option, it's order. Likewise he can set up the information, then he can just click on save, and then he can click on mark complete, which means he is completing this activity. Click on mark complete. Now what will happen? One or more item tasks are in completed status. Do you want to complete? So do you want to mark the definition task complete? You can just click on yes. So now what will happen? This particular task will be completed. And then the completion status will go to new item request. So once again, if you query the new item request, you can see the status got changed. Once again, I click on search. It is still in definition status. Now the task will move from step number 10 to step number 20. Okay, only one problem I'm seeing is the notification is not coming. For each and every step, the notification will come. Let me go to details. I'll go to the definition. I will see now the task must have completed from step number 10 and then it should move to step number 20. You see, task status step number 10 is completed and now it will move to 20. Now for 20, let's see what is the activity which that person need to do. He can go to the same user. I'm going into the same user. He need to set up the B30 laptop attribute. So now we can click on go to task. We don't basically users will not click on come to NIR and click on go to task. They will just see the notification and then from there they will click on the link and they will open the item and update it. So here you can see he is able to for this particular task he can set up only the B30 laptop attribute. So he can set up the RAM as 8 GB RAM. So you can just enter the information, then click on save, and then he can just use this option to mark it as completed. In case if multiple items are there, he can just scroll through one item to another item using this arrow. So you can just click on next item, and then he can just update the information. Finally, he can click on mark completed. So now this task also will get completed. Now the definition work is basically completed because only two tasks. One is to update the purchasing attribute. Second one is to update the like custom attribute. So now both of the tasks are completed. Now you can see the definition task workflow status is as of now in progress. In some 1 or 2 minutes, it will just change to approval. So it will move from definition and then it will move to approval status. It will move to approval. Now let me just query it once again. Here you can see it will move to approval automatically. Now the definition work is completed. It had moved to approval. I'm not sure whether at least now we will get a notification. Even now, no. So some problem in the complete notification workflow. Let me go to details. You can see now the definition workflow is completed. Now the approval workflow had started. So let me click on the approval workflow. Here also, again, you will be able to see the task of who needs to approve it. It's showing the person B30 PIM manager needs to approve it. But unfortunately, here we don't have an option to go on see the notification. Without notification, I believe we won't be able to approve it.
Did you give his base person or role? Person.
A person. I have given it based on the person. So the person is the person is B30 PIM manager, and we have logged into that user only. The notification is not coming. Maybe I'll give a try. Let me just sign out and sign in once. If it is not coming, then we have to the notification will come. We have to click on approve, and then the item will go to approved status. In the bracket, it will show the NIR number as well. That is the only step which is pending now. B30 underscore PIM underscore manager. No notifications are there. This is the only option to see it. It's my task it is there. Okay, in the my task it is there. New item request. Let me just open this. New item request assigned. So it's showing one task is there. In the BPM worklist it came, but it is not showing as a it is not showing in the approval. So that is a problem over here. Okay, so here we will get so we will get a notification stating that new item request requires approval. So there will be two types of notification will come. One is new item request requires definition. Second one is new item request requires approval. So these two different types of notification will come. In the request approval notification, approve button also will be there. So once you click on that approve button, then that will automatically send that information to the NIR, and in the NIR we will be able to see that item status is moved from draft to approved. So the NIR status also will move from approval to schedule, and schedule it will go to completed, and then when you go into the item status also you will be able to see it as approved. So that's what finally it will happen. Because of this notification issue, I am not able to show it to you, but hopefully you are able to understand it, right? So once you have to click on the approve button in this notification area for that particular notification. Okay, are you able to understand, or if you have any questions, you let me know with respect to this particular NIR process.
What if there is a, is there any, I know that this, again, I can ask, but the thing is, you gave by person, and the person who is a manager, can he able to delegate this approval to somebody else? Is there any procedure that delegation can be done?
Yes, yes, yes. We can just set up the delegation rule, all those things in the BPM itself. For example, here you can see in the BPM we have the task configuration. So in the task configuration, we can just do the delegation rules, and all those things we will be able to set it up. For example, we are in a so here you can see delegate delegation rules are available over here. For example, if you are in absence, so if we are in a leave, if you are taking a leave for a week, then who is the person who will be doing our approvals in spite in my absence? So that and all we can just set it up over here. So here we can just go to assignees, and then we can select who will be the person in my absence. Who, like you can see, assignees here we can just select a particular person, and then we can just assign to other person who will be approving in spite of me. So that part, everything we have to do it in the BPM worklist, BPM task configuration. We can just do it.
And even you have a stipulated time that you can also give it. Okay, this many going, and you can put it that much.
Deadlines. You can see deadlines. So on the deadlines, you can just give what is the how many days or how many hours you want to set this delegation rule. That you at least similar to the Outlook, we will just set up out of office email. Similar to that, here also we can just select what is the due date, for how many days or how many weeks we want to set this particular delegation rule. After that exact date and time over, then again the approvals will come to the standard normal flow, normal person itself. Okay, and here this particular BPM worklist is configurable also. Within the SaaS offering, you will be able to write the detailed codes as well. The technical codes also you can just write it in this BPM worklist. So if you want like a complex rule, for example, if I am not there, in spite of him, my supervisor will work. Even if my supervisor is not there, in spite of him, the subordinate will work. Likewise, you can just create a very detailed BPM work list, BPM workflow over here. So that we need some technical assistance to set up that BPM work list over here. But whatever you are asking, the delegation rule, all those things is very much possible. Absence approval. In my absence, who will be doing it instead of me? Who is doing it? So if we are not absent, but we will not be able to do this activity, I want to delegate it to someone. So the delegation rule, absence rule, all those things we can set it up in the task configuration in the BPM work list.
It's all
Clear?
similar to what in PeopleSoft, same thing that we do.
Okay, yeah. So I hope in EBIS also the same concepts were there. So I think it's a generic solution they brought into Fusion for this thing. For all the approvals, it's the same concept.
Is the notifications has to be enabled somewhere so that to get these notifications to that user? Are you getting?
You can see in this user, you can see there is lot of notification which is coming. For the
1 week back, is somewhere you have been passed the notifications or some setup?
I don't think so. We have not touched the setup at all for with respect to notification. But okay. So we need to check. Maybe that sometime we face this. We face this in our project instance as well. Like what will happen when too many notifications are there, then the system will not be able to send it. It will get stuck, and then we will just raise a ticket to Oracle. They will just clear a cache, and then they will just rerun a program. Then all the notifications which got stuck will be distributed to everyone. So we have faced that issue in our.
That you can see the messages that has been triggered.
No, we don't have a page where we can see all those messages. That will be in that. If we have a pass offering, we can just see that there is something called application diagnostic role is there. Using the application diagnostic role, we can see what are all the workflow which is running, or what are all the workflow messages which is going, and whether it is delivered or not. At that level, we will be able to see it. But for pass offering, the user does not have access, and then this should be accessed only through Oracle support. We do not have a direct access to that.
Okay.
And run for
maybe from backend.
We do have a setup where we can go and edit that messages, even as I say, because I was working as a security admin. I can reroute that workflow to somebody who is not there. So if suppose if the person is got terminated, so what happens is that notification cannot go. So it will stuck into the system, and then we will go. If the message is stuck, then we have two things that we need to do. First, we will figure out where the message got stuck using a tool called integration broker. In integration broker, that has been triggered, the message is in XML. So we edit that XML and we read that what is going on in the behind the scene. Then it tells that the person, whoever it is going, it's got terminated. So we will go back to the workflow setup. Then we will see the message and then reroute that message to somebody next to who is active manager or somebody who has been delegated like that.
Okay. So in PaaS Cloud, whatever you are saying, it's completely possible. In PaaS Cloud, you can send all sort of notification, and there is the stack list over there. You can see all the list of notification which is flowing through, which is stuck. All those things we can see and redirect. But in SaaS, we do not have that control. Like we should get the application diagnostic. In the application diagnostic, there is a role is also available. If you see in the document, there is something called application diagnostic. So that will be available only to the support users. Who like run support is done by the Oracle only. We do not have access to that. Okay, and specifically, I don't have so much of experience in working with that particular part. Maybe we need to check with Oracle whether is it possible to get access. To my knowledge and understanding, they will not give access to us to troubleshoot those things, the Oracle only will have the access. But we can just check with Oracle if there is any chance that we can give, because this notification got stuck means we cannot always go and raise an SR and wait for the Oracle to respond for it. Basically, we should be able to troubleshoot and resolve it ourselves. So we need to check with Oracle for to get an answer for that one.
Let me check. I have Oracle Access support. So let me check with that.
Okay. Yeah, that will be helpful. You can just check it, and maybe you can let us know what is the response.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. So with respect to the, I got some other people have some question.
Yeah, Ram. This is regarding the BPM. The BPM we use it for PO and requisition approval also.
Yes. BPM.
So during purchasing time you will be expelled. Okay, sorry.
1 minute. So the BPM for the new item request and all, we have very simple, only single user or an approval group. These two options are there. But for PO, requisition, invoicing, all these things, we have a very detailed approval configurations is there. So you can set up it based on the amount, based on the category of the item, based on the category hierarchy, like a lot of options are there. Based on a business unit, based on the previous approver. Likewise, lot of options are there with the stages, voting regime. Lot of concepts are there. Based on all those things, we will just send the approval to specific person. But that will also go through this BPM only, and this delegation rule, absence rule will also applicable to that to the PO and then requisition approvals as well.
Okay, Ram.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So this is what I need to cover for the new item request. Okay. So now we will just quickly see how to set up the change order. And in our next session, that will be the last session for product management, wherein we will be seeing how to set up the rules and how a rule can trigger a change order. That's what we are going to see. Let me take maximum 10 minutes to show you how to create a change order, and then how the change order will just trigger an approval, or it will go for the notification, all those things. So now you understood how the notification will go, where to configure. But for the change order also, we have a similar configuration. We have to go into setup and maintenance, and there you have to open the item class, and we have to enable the change order. We have to enable the change order for a specific item class. Here, if you just take this particular item class, B30 electronic item class, we have to select what is the change order type. So we can create various change order types, and then we can just link a change order type to a item. So let's take this one. Let's take this B30 electronics item class. You can see change management. In the change management, you can select a change order type. So change order, change request, or like engineering change order, or commercialization change order. So likewise, there are various change order types is there. Let me just go to the change order type and show you, and then we can just link it over here. So now let me go to the change order type. You can see change orders is available in the product management, and then here you can go into manage change order types, and in the change order types you have a very similar thing like a new item request. But in new item request there will be only one NIR will be there, but in change order you can have many change orders. Maybe for one item class you can set up a change order and approval with 2-3 person and attach it to one item class. And for another item class, you can create another change order type with approval with another list of people, and you can attach to another change order. But new item request will go for approval always to one person, but change order can go for approval based on the change order type. So now let's take this particular change request. Okay, change request or engineering change order. Let me just open this. Let me just click on this engineering change order. So if you see in the engineering change order, you can see the workflow. In the workflow, we can see first it is open, and then it will be automatic promotion status. We can set it to approval. Okay, we can set up the automatic promotion status to approval, and once it goes to approval, then once the person approves, here there is no definition workflow. So the step called definition will not be there. Directly, the person who wants to change the item information, he will just change that information. When he click on save, it will request him to initiate the change order. Then once he creates the change order, then it will go for the approval directly. It will go for approval. Once it is approved, it will go to schedule, then it will be completed. That's all. Here only approval is there. We do not have any other thing. So now let me just click on save, and then we will just use this engineering change order. For example, some person is making some changes to the item, then it should go, then that should go through this particular approval flow. And I forget to mention, I forgot to do one thing. We have to just mention who is the person who needs to approve it. Okay, so that I'll just select it. So in change order, there is it, engineering change order. Okay, let me just click on edit, and then let me go to workflow. Here we need to mention, when you go to approval, here you need to mention who is the person who needs to approve it. The same stuff. So approval, and then it is going to use a defined approval. You can mention it as one or all, and here you can mention who is the person who needs to approve it. Maybe here this time I'll select some other approving person, assigned to person. Let me select some other the B29. Okay, let me just select some other person, so that we can just check at least the approval is going or not, because without the approval we can't do anything. Now let's select the username B29 OM manager. Yeah, I think this user has access to product management and inventory management. So let me just add this user. Okay, I have just selected assigned to B29 OM manager. So now I just disable this. I will disable this optional approval. So here in the change order type itself, we have to select who is the person who needs to approve it. And then once we select this, we are done. Now we can just go ahead and create the change order. So in tomorrow's session, okay, approver does not have the privilege. Okay. So this particular user does not have privilege to our item class. That is the reason it's giving a message. So no problem. So in tomorrow's session, I will just create a change. Once again, I'll just resolve this issue, how to set up the privilege. Nothing but go to item class security and add access to the B29 OM manager as well. That's all, nothing else. So we have to set up the item class security for this user. Then once again you add this, and then we have to create a change order manually, and then we'll send it for approval. And then we will create a item validation rule, and using the item validation rule, we will initiate a change order. So these two things we are going to see in tomorrow's session. Clear? Any questions at this moment, you let me know, or else we'll continue with the change order for tomorrow.
Ram, for this change order, if we are changing any attributes at the organization level, okay, so for organizational attribute change also we can have this.
Right, we can do it, but the thing is we have to create a validation rule. So if the organization is equal to so and so, and if the attribute is equal to so and so, then initiate it. Likewise, we have to set up a validation rule, or else we have to manually create a change order. And you have to add what are all the attributes you want to change. What is the current attribute? What is the change? What is the new attribute? You have to mention that in a change order manually, and then you have to submit it. That will go for approval, and then it will get updated. This is one way. Second way is we can create a rule, and in that rule you can mention validation rule. You have to write a OBR rule, changed of this particular attribute, or change of this particular attribute in this particular organization. Likewise, we have to write a rule. But whether at the org level will we be able to change it, that I need to check it. Anyways, in tomorrow's session we can review that as well.
Sure.
Okay. So any other questions? Anyone?
Ram, so this BPM we will be seeing in detail when we go to procurement, right? Like this vacation rules or delegations and all.
Yes, we will see in detail. Yes. Like this delegation rules, like I can just show, like I can just little bit, I can show you more, but we will be concentrating more on the like the how to set up the rules, various types of rules in purchasing, maybe amount based rules or a BU based rule. That one we will see very detailed. And then this
Okay.
BPM and this delegation rule, this we will just touch base. But if you specifically want to know more about it, let me know. Even I need to check with my team, and then I can just give you some more details on that.
Sure.
Okay. 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 Fine then. So we'll take a pause here, and we'll continue tomorrow with the change order part. Change order, and then the item rules. Okay. Thank you.